JRR here, and today I'm going over something quick and basic. The top errors people do when they're playing, well, mostly new games, but in this case we'll go with good old League of Legends. I'm just going to cut it quick, to the point, precise, because last time I ranted, I didn't put it on YouTube because it was almost an hour. I gave a lot of examples, so I'm going to try to avoid examples, just get right to the point. The first thing people do that causes them problems in League of Legends is they don't know the champions. They don't know what they can do. This is a major issue, but that will be rectified in time. The more they practice, the more they learn about it, the easier it will be for them to not do the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. That's simple. Not knowing happens. Everyone starts from somewhere. So, fix that, problem solved. Second thing, underestimating your opponent. If someone is running away from you, chances are they're running to set you up for a gank. Most new people won't figure this. They'll just be like, oh, he's scared of me, I'm going to go get him, ha 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 ha. No, either they're setting you up for a gank, or you actually hurt them to a point where they need to get some cover, think about what they're doing, and then they're going to re-engage you anyway. This leads to not number 3, but this leads to the third topic, overextending yourself. It is said that the most frequent swimmer is one that most often drowns. It's an old style proverb, I can't remember who said it, but it's straightforward saying, if you get too comfortable, you're going to make mistakes because you just don't care. It's routine. I hit you with 3 of these, then I hit you with this, you die. I hit you with 2 of these, I hit you with 2 of those, and you die. There's 5 people in the place, all bundled up, I jump in there, I use this, you all die. And then what happens when they don't die? Or you get interrupted halfway through. Or someone jumps in unexpectedly. It throws you out of your loop, and, well, you die. So, don't fall into complacency. Next item, field commander. These are people that seem to know how the game is going to be won, no matter what. Every level 30 I've dealt with, all but like 2, wanted to be Mr. or Mrs. Field Commander. I've done this so many times. Remember that complacency thing I just said? Ta-da! Well, I got level 30, I know better. And I have a level 90 Death Knight on frickin' World of Warcraft, and I have a level 90 Warrior. Doesn't mean I know every in and out of the Warrior, I just know a lot of it. I digress. The field commanders are actually going to be your most pain in the butt ones, because if you win, they'll say it's because of their tactics. If you do it or not, they're going to say it's because of their tactics. If you lose, they're going to blame you for not doing their tactics, even if you fall up to the letter. The fuck? Oh, not gonna digress. Not gonna digress on that. Let's just say field commanders will cause you a lot of problems, especially if you fall into one of the other categories of not knowing somebody, or not used to somebody, or not used to your enemy, or underestimating your enemy, which common times comes up with a field commander because they underestimate the enemy. This leads to my next point. Those are the top things that people tend to err on. Education is the top thing you can do. Look around, get some knowledge on what the game is, or what the champion is. Get some idea of how to get the build set up, and then carry on. Your field commander is going to be the worst person you got to deal with. It's not that they mean to harm. What they think is, this is the way it's going to win the match. That doesn't always work. And the last topic of concern is objectivity. What is objectivity? Getting the job done. Every PvP game, every PvP game, every one of them has an objective. When I play Call of Duty, we just gotta kill people and the first person to get 50 wins. That's the objective. Get 50 kills before the other team. Objective. I've seen this a lot, especially in World of Warcraft, and I've been seeing it a lot on League of Legends as well. The objective? We'll go Dominion for League of Legends, and I think it was Arathi Basin for World of Warcraft, because they're pretty much the same thing. In Arathi Basin, there's 5 points. Set like a plus sign. There's the Allied Stronghold, Horde Stronghold, Lumber Mill, Mine, Blacksmith, and Center. League of Legends has a big circle, which is more like shaped like a star. Top point, 2 bottom, 2 on the sides. Okay. General strategies for both. Arathi Basin, the Lancer is going to come down. They're going to send, since it's 2 groups of 10, it's going to be 2 to defend, 1 to scout, 1 to scout. Russ is going to go for Blacksmith. Horde, what do they do? 2 to defend, 1 to scout, 1 to scout. Everyone fights in the middle. Which leads to my running gag of, everyone fight in the center! Because even in World of Warcraft, the objective is to get these points, and yet, knowing that there's going to be 1 over here and 1 over there, they all go in the center anyway. And why is my joke, everyone fight in the center? Well, WoW has captured a flag and they fight in the center. Flag in the north, flag in the south. Everyone just fight in the center. Fuck it. We're good. What does this guy do with League of Legends Dominion? 5 points. What happens? 1 goes bottom, 4 go top. Why? Because 3 are going to fight at the top point. Every fucking time. And these are their own sets of meta. And that's why people say, break the meta, break the meta. But you can't really break the meta per se, unless you have heavy meta behind you. Let's say you have a support that's mid lane. Why would you have support mid lane? All they gotta do is kill minions and avoid the target. If you kill the minions quickly enough and avoid the person trying to kill you, you'll be a higher level than most other people on your map. All you gotta do is wait for the person to gank them to come by and gank them. Ooh. And then why isn't ADC the middle person? Nope. They need support. Yeah, but I've had Teemo in the center and Teemo just destroys after he gets down the middle. People tend to run away from Teemo like halfway through the fight. They're just like, screw it, still laning phase, but we're leaving Teemo alone. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. There's a level of meta that you can hold, and then there's a level that you can get away with. And in League of Legends, people have the meta of everything has to be set for a team fight, team fight, team fight, team fight, always a team fight, always a team fight. Bunch of 30s I've met, team fight, everything has to be set for a team fight, team fight, team fight. The 30s I got along best with are the 5-man crew. Now let me explain this real quick. Like I said, in Dominion, you gotta run around, and it's always the same thing that happens. The 5-man crew is different than a straight-up team fighter. If you're setting up a group for a team, you're going to set up people who can support each other, help each other out, be effective against a big team. A 5-man crew is pretty much 3 to 5 people. It's usually called a 5-man crew in my case, because even if you have a support and ADC at the bottom, holding the bottom lane, once the laning phase is over, the ADC is out somewhere else, and the support's like, okay, wherever I go, I go. So it becomes a 5-man crew. But the 5-man crew is better known for their dueling capability, able to handle one target by themselves. It makes sense. 5 people with a common goal, like 5 mercenaries being told, take this place out. Okay, that's what we're going to go do. Your team fighters are the ones that happen to be the organized militia. Everyone needs to have a certain role, and they need to do this the way I say to do it. And this is where you're going to find your good old field commanders. Oh, this person sucks for team fights. He's useless for the whole freaking match. One more time. That person has no team fighting capability. They are a completely useless champion. In fact, you can call them a troll champion because they're useless. Because they aren't good in a team fight. They're useless. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that they take out all the towers in lane. Nope. Doesn't matter they took out inhibitors. No. Doesn't matter that they have things set up to where you guys can infiltrate the base and destroy them. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They can't fight in a team. They're useless and a troll freaking champion. Get rid of them. They're gonna be better if you deleted them. And that's kind of why I like the 5-man crew better. Because 5-man crew is just like, your objective? Destroy the Nexus. That's the objective of the match. That's what you do. Okay. Usually if I'm playing TMO, I tell people, hey, grab teleport. Why? I'm going to get a mushroom inside their base. I'm going to put it off to the side. All you gotta do, teleport to the mushroom. Oh. So, I kind of remind people about near the end of mid game, starting the end game. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go up there, drop off a mushroom for teleport. That way we can just jump what we need to jump. Why? Because that throws the enemy off. But wait, Teemo's not good for team fights. You know, Teemo's a commando. He kind of ambushes people. That's kind of what he does. He sets traps. It's kind of what he does. Sorry. It's his job. That's like saying Katarina is horrible at laning. She can manage, but Katarina at laning is... Sandpaper condom is an understatement. That's like Shaco, whatever. That's like him jungling. It can be done. But why? I mean, I've proven that it can be done. It's just the principle of the matter. It's part of the meta thing that I was talking about, where people don't quite... They know what the meta is, and they stick with it to such a degree that it blows your mind when something actually works. And like I said, it's because of these metas that cause problems. When I brought up the Wrathy Basin in WoW, like I said, everybody's going to go to the blacksmith. Everyone's going to show up there. It's going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be everybody fighting everybody. It's going to be a big mess with one person up there, one person over there, 2 guarding here and 2 guarding down there. Or, sorry, it's now 1 and 1. My bad. So that's another person from each side going to the freaking middle free. And everyone wants to fight in the middle. League of Legends, people are like, oh, League is so much better than WoW. Yeah, because it's not like everyone goes and fights in the middle. Oh yeah, that's right. They do. Let's all meet at Baron because yeah, we're gonna have a Baron fight. Let's all meet at Dragon because yeah, it's a Dragon fight. You do realize that the Baron and the Dragon are like the center axis vertically, while the mid lane is center axis horizontally. So you're always fighting in middle. Fighting in mid. Team fights in mid. Just like I said. This is why, as Teemo, it is very, very wise. For all you Teemo players out there, you probably figured this out miles ago. I say miles instead of years. But most people decide to shroom up the middle. They just shroom it up. Shrooms near Baron, shrooms near Dragon, shrooms near the middle lane. Why? Everyone's fighting there! Someone's gonna run into a shroom and bleh. It's like when you play WoW and everyone's fighting in the blacksmith. You know what's gonna happen. Everyone's fighting in the middle. Capture flag. Everyone's fighting in the middle. Guess what? Don't underestimate your abilities. Don't underestimate your opponent. Just go in there and AoE the hell out of everything. Why? Because it's all right there. And I kind of wish that's what the field commanders just said. Pick a champion with heavy AoE. That's what they really want for team fights. They don't want people to pick people off. They want, oh, I want to have a big freaking battle in the middle of the field. I want to joygasm when I kill somebody. Well, dude, just a heads up, there's a lot of people who actually know to keep the fuck out of the fight. But that's just me digressing. So, in summary, learn what your champions can do, or champions you really want to play, learn about them. Learn about champions you have to use. Learn items. If you need to look at builds, go for it. Heck, I did just for the sake of shits and giggles. And I started rough, got refined, and now I have professional builds. I say now I have professional builds because last night I didn't have them because I had to look up the professionals and double check to see where I'm at, where my area is. By the way, Black Cleaver for Sivir is actually a recovery setup. Huh. So I actually have part of the setup right, it's just not part of the setup I needed for the time. Huh. I digress. Don't underestimate your opponent. For all you know, they might know more than you. For all you know, they might be a Smurf account. For all you know, they might be a little bit more experienced than you think. And remember your objectives. Remember your objectives. Oh my god, remember your fucking objectives. That's the number one thing people forget. Objectives. You need to have a good team fight champion. What's the objective of this? To destroy the Nexus. Why do I need a teamfight champion if I can just sneak in there and destroy it? Because you need a teamfight champion, because that's what I say you need. I could just walk in there and destroy the Nexus. I'm gonna give you a quick little story. To end out here, I'm gonna give you a quick little story. There's a few times I played Ashe. A few times this happened. Every time my Ashe has managed to lose is because they keep telling me to go back to guard the base. Even though there's people up who are far higher level, who are far more experienced, who are far more prepared to fight. No, I, who's a lower summoner level, I, who had a lower champion level, have to go back and defend against level 30s with max level champions. Just stay out of the way. Just stay under the turret. The turret died later by 5 people and I was dead. Why didn't you run? Run where? I started to run. I got grabbed by a hook and pulled back. Then I started to run a second time. Somehow I managed to stay alive. I don't know how. But I wound up getting grabbed by a freaking mummy and pulled back. So yeah. Run where? I tried that twice. I digress. The point of that story was, while I kept getting told to go back and guard, I was already over halfway up my lane. Everything else was destroyed along the lane, except for the inhibitor turret, the inhibitor, and that was it. I got through those. If I get through those, all it would be was a bunch of minions behind me, and the two towers left to attack. Well, if everyone's down fighting you guys, and all you gotta do is avoid them, with our two towers still up, and the inhibitor in front still up, and the tower in front still up, but just hold the line. I'll be done in less than a minute. Come back! I'll be done in less than a minute. Come back! I'll be done in less than a minute. I said come back! Not like I give a shit what you say, buddy, but you know what? You want the loss? We'll have a loss. What do you mean by that? You'll see. And sure enough, I showed up. Hey, look, it's the person that's not someone level 30. Why didn't you fight? I was stunned. Why didn't you run? As soon as I got done being stunned, I tried to run and I got hit. And we ripped at this whole 2-stun process and me getting crabbed twice and all that crap. Which reminds me, why didn't y'all help? We're going to towers. You mean the towers that are less than 5 feet away? Yeah. Great. Gotcha. And why are all you dead again? No idea? Y'all didn't see the first tower dive? No? Okay. For those of you who don't know, in League of Legends, a tower is pretty much a defensive point that fires on enemies. A tower dive is when people say, screw this, I'm going through that place to kick your ass. They go after a target champion who's near the tower, either trying to back or return to base, trying to get a better idea of what they want to do, try to get an aim, depending on whatever. A tower dive is pretty much rushing that champion through the tower to kill them and get out of the tower before it blows you up. That's it. That's all it is. It's, I guess for the Call of Duty people, it's like seeing just getting an eye on the sniper just as he shoots and misses you for some reason. Like you move to the side and he shoots and you see where it came from, you know where he's at. A tower dive is pretty much rushing him before he can reload. You rush in there, and just as he reloads, you kill him. That's a successful tower dive in Call of Duty or first-person shooter games. That's a tower dive. That's to put it in perspective for League of Legends. Now, we did end up losing that game. As much of a shock as it wasn't to me. What bothered me was the fact that other people in the group agreed. Even the enemies agreed that if I kept my course, they would have been boned. But no, I went back. And I was even asked, why did you go back? The tower that was by the inhibitor had like 2 shots left on it. All you had to do was go hit it twice. Like, yeah, no. Why'd you go back? We started having an argument with our other people in the group at level 30 because he wanted me to go back. So I went back to shut him up. But you're the lowest level of your group, and you're the lowest level champion of the group. Like, yeah, I know. I'm aware. So why would you go back? Because I'm stupid and I listen to the field commander. And like I said, field commander is not always wrong, but when you know it's wrong, trust your gut. If you know it's wrong, it's wrong. So, with all that said, keep that in mind for when if you start playing League of Legends or you start playing, say, Infinity Crisis. Learn the character, learn the champion, find out what they do, find out the best setup for items, find out the best way to get your items going, find out if you need to build set items, what item pieces are good to grab, and what ones you can avoid. Things of that nature. It will help you in the long run. I'm not saying ignore your field commander, because sometimes they're right, but I am saying trust your gut. If your gut says going back is a bad idea, I mean really bad idea, then don't go back. Now if four of your members are dead and you're the only one left alive and you're only halfway, a little bit less than halfway or halfway there, then you still have like not even the 2 Nexus towers, I don't count those. You still have the inhibitor tower and then another tower in front of that. If you still have that to go through and all 4 of your people dead and enemies going into the base, you might want to back to try at least slow them down. Because by the time you get them going through that turret, the other turret, then the inhibitor turret, it's too late. They'll be done with everything else by the time you get there. So if you cannot take down 2 towers by yourself quickly, then don't worry about pressing. So, with that said, have yourselves a good day. And yeah, we'll stay there. I'm not going to discuss the surrendering issue because I'll just sum up surrendering like this. Play Left 4 Dead or watch a video of Left 4 Dead and a hunter pounces somebody. No, in fact, I will put a link down at the bottom. And I'll point out everything about that link that applies to new players playing Left 4 Dead and new players playing League of Legends, and how it applies to Left 4 Dead. Later.